The library was bathed in a cozy twilight, with dark wooden shelves crammed with old books that exuded the unmistakable aroma of aged paper. I was there, in the most forgotten corner of the National Library of Oslo, where few dared to venture. It was a refuge for me, Dr. Lars Ans, a scientist always in search of answers to history's enigmas. It was on one of those solitary afternoons that my eyes fell upon a dusty volume hidden behind a row of encyclopedias. It was an ancient manuscript, bound in worn leather, with Gothic letters almost faded on the cover. My heart raced as I noticed the title, The Mysteries of Atlantis. With trembling hands of excitement, I opened the manuscript and began to flip through its yellowed pages. The drawings and texts were fascinating, but one passage in particular caught my attention. There, in careful handwriting, was a description of a possible location of the legendary submerged city of Atlantis, suggesting it was hidden in the depths of the North Atlantic. The discovery was monumental and could change everything we knew about this lost civilization. I need help deciphering this, I murmured to myself, already thinking about who could assist me on this journey. That's how I reached out to Ingrid Halvorsen, a renowned archaeologist known for her skill in deciphering ancient texts. When I called her to my study, she arrived with her usual determination and bright eyes full of curiosity. "Lars, what have you found this time?" she asked with an amused smile. "Ingrid, I think I found something that could lead us to Atlantis," I replied, handing her the manuscript. She widened her eyes and began to read eagerly. Her agile fingers turned the pages as she murmured words under her breath, trying to decipher the codes and enigmas. After a few minutes, she looked up, visibly excited. "Lars, this is incredible. It seems there are encoded clues here that could lead us to the exact location of the city. We need to follow these instructions." With Ingrid on board, we knew we would need someone capable of ensuring our safety during the expedition. That's when we thought of Erik Stensrud, a former military man with vast experience in dangerous missions and enviable survival skills. We found Erik at a training gym, where he still maintained his impeccable physical condition. When we explained the situation and showed him the manuscript, he was initially skeptical, but soon his curiosity won out. "So you want me to protect you on a treasure hunt?" he asked, raising an eyebrow. "It's not just a treasure hunt, Erik. It's the chance to discover something that could rewrite history," I argued, trying to convince him of the mission's importance. After a few moments of reflection, he nodded with a slight smile. "I'm in. Let's find this Atlantis." With the trio formed, we boarded a research ship, equipped with cutting-edge technology and supplies for a long journey. We set off toward the point indicated by the manuscript, but the ocean was not willing to make our mission easy. A violent storm hit us in the middle of the North Atlantic, with gigantic waves and howling winds that tested our resilience. "Hold on to something," Erik shouted, as the ship swayed dangerously. We fought the storm for hours, each of us performing our tasks with determination. Ingrid and I took turns keeping the equipment secure, while Erik coordinated the emergency operations with military precision. Finally, after what seemed like days, the storm subsided, and we were able to continue our journey. When we reached the location indicated by the manuscript, we all held our breath. Below the waters, a strange submerged rock formation was revealed, appearing like an entrance to something much larger. "I think we'd found our first clue," Ingrid said, her eyes shining with excitement. "Let's prepare the dive," Erik responded, already moving to organize the equipment. The first step had been taken. Little did we know that this discovery would be just the beginning of a series of events that would test our courage, intelligence, and above all, our determination to uncover the secrets for a moment to ask for your help. Please like, follow us, and click the bell so you can receive our videos and help the channel grow. The sun had barely risen when we prepared for the dive. The sea was calm, a welcome change after the storm that had nearly made us abandon the expedition. I, Dr. Lars Ahns, was eager to explore the rock formation we found the day before. Ingrid Halvorsen, our brilliant archaeologist, was adjusting her diving gear beside me, and Eric Stensrud, our ex-military security specialist, meticulously checked every detail before giving us the green light. "Is everyone ready?" I asked, trying to hide my impatience. "Ready," Ingrid replied, a determined smile on her face. "If the inscriptions in the manuscript are correct, we're about to make a historic discovery." Eric nodded silently, his blue eyes as sharp as ever. "Remember, any sign of danger, we retreat immediately." We dove, and soon the cold waters of the North Atlantic surrounded us. The rock formation was even more impressive underwater, with large arches and passages that seemed to have been sculpted by human hands. We followed a narrow tunnel that descended deeper and deeper until we finally emerged into a gigantic cavern. As we entered, our underwater flashlights revealed ancient inscriptions on the walls. It was a language I didn't recognize, but Ingrid studied it avidly. "It's in an archaic dialect," she said, her tone full of pure fascination. "It seems we're on the right path to Atlantis." A shiver ran down my spine. We were closer than ever. Ingrid approached a larger inscription, her fingers gliding over the runes carved into the damp rock. "This is a riddle," she murmured. "Give me a minute." While Ingrid deciphered the riddle, Eric and I kept watch. The tension was palpable, every sound amplified by the submerged cavern. After a few minutes, Ingrid exclaimed, "I got it!" A sound of ancient gears filled the cavern as a secret passage opened before us, revealing a breathtaking sight, a partially preserved, submerged city. The structures, though covered in algae and coral, were unmistakably artificial. Atlantis. We had found Atlantis. "We did it," I whispered, feeling a wave of emotion. "But we're not alone," Eric said, pointing to a shadow moving swiftly in our direction. Suddenly, an unknown marine creature attacked us. It was enormous, with sharp jaws and glowing eyes. Eric fired his spear, trying to ward it off, but the creature was aggressive and fast. "Retreat! Get back to the ship!" he shouted. We swam with all our strength, the creature close on our heels. We managed to reach the cave entrance and swam back to the ship, panting and exhausted. The creature finally gave up, disappearing into the depths. "That was close," Eric said, trying to catch his breath. "We need a new plan," Ingrid said, still breathless. "We can't just go in there without knowing what we're up against." Before we could discuss further, the ship's radar began to beep. Something big was approaching. I looked at the screen and saw the silhouette of a submarine. "We're being followed," Eric said, his face hardening. "It seems we're not the only ones interested in Atlantis." My heart raced. Whoever they were, they couldn't have good intentions. We needed to quickly decide our next steps. We were on the brink of something big, and the danger was only growing. Once again, the search for Atlantis put us at a dangerous crossroads, and only time would tell if we would emerge victorious from this journey. I clearly remember the moment we spotted the mysterious submarine that was following us. It was a calm night, with the sea reflecting the light of the full moon. Ingrid, Eric, and I were on deck, trying to process the attack by the sea creature earlier that day. The atmosphere was heavy, and the tension between us was palpable. "Do you see that?" Eric pointed to a spot on the horizon, where a metallic glint reflected the moonlight. "Is that a submarine?" Ingrid asked, adjusting her glasses to get a better view. I moved closer, trying to identify the object. "Yes, it looks like a submarine. But what is it doing here, in the middle of nowhere?" It was at that moment that Ingrid and I discovered the truth behind the submarine. Through a series of intercepted radio transmissions and encrypted signals, we managed to decipher that the submarine was operated by a secret organization called the Guardians of Atlantis. These Guardians had a single mission: to keep the city hidden from the rest of the world. "This is unbelievable," Ingrid said, flipping through her notes. "These Guardians have been monitoring the area for years. They knew about Atlantis before we did." Eric, with his military instinct, began devising a defense plan. "We need to be prepared. If they're so determined to keep Atlantis a secret, they won't hesitate to attack us." The discovery that Gunnar, an old colleague of Eric's, was working for the Guardians was an even harder blow. Eric was visibly shaken. Gunnar was always a man of principles. I never thought he'd join something like this. That night, we were caught off guard by a stealthy approach. The Guardian submarine surfaced silently beside our ship, and before we could react, we were captured and taken aboard. We were led to an interrogation room, where we were confronted by a man with an authoritative and cold gaze. Dr. Lars Ans, Ingrid Halvorsen, Erik Stensrud, he began, his voice resonating in the room. "Who are you, and what do you intend to do with Atlantis? Haven't you liked the video yet? Aren't following us? And haven't clicked the bell yet? Please take a moment to do it now, and help the channel grow, so we can make more videos." I tried to stay calm. "We are researchers in search of knowledge. We only want to reveal the truth to the world." He laughed. "The truth. The truth is dangerous. There are secrets in Atlantis that cannot be revealed." It was then that Ingrid, ever resourceful, began working discreetly on her tablet. I knew she was trying to hack into the submarine system. After a few tense minutes, she succeeded. "I found the location of their headquarters," she whispered to me. "We need to get out of here." With a quick strategy, we managed to disable the door locks and initiated a daring escape. We ran through the narrow corridors of the submarine, avoiding the guards and trying to find a way out. Eric, with his military experience, led the way. "This way," he gestured, leading us to an escape chamber. We managed to escape and return to our ship, but we knew the Guardians wouldn't give up so easily. The decision was unanimous. We would return to the submerged city, determined to reveal the truth about Atlantis to the world. As we sailed back, the tension was high. "They won't give up," Eric said, checking his weapons. "We need to be ready for whatever comes." Ingrid nodded, her eyes shining with determination. "It's our responsibility. The world needs to know the truth." I looked out at the horizon, where the submerged city awaited us. "We're ready," I declared with conviction. "We will reveal Atlantis to the world, no matter the cost." And so, with our fates intertwined and our hearts resolute, we headed toward the truth, ready to face any obstacle the Guardians of Atlantis might throw our way. Holding a flashlight in one hand and the carefully protected manuscript in the other, I entered the secret chamber. The atmosphere was dense, and the air seemed to vibrate with the energy of millennia of forgotten history. The walls were covered with detailed inscriptions and intricate reliefs. In the center of the room, artifacts lay as if they had been waiting for our arrival. "Lars, you need to be quick. We don't have much time," Ingrid warned, her voice tense in my ear. "I know, Ingrid. Just give me a minute to examine this," I replied, kneeling beside a pedestal that held a strange metallic object covered in symbols. As I studied the artifact, Eric and Ingrid positioned themselves at the entrance of the chamber. The tension was palpable. We could hear the muffled sounds of water and the metallic noises of the Guardian submarine approaching. We knew they could arrive at any moment. "Lars, we need another barrier here," Eric shouted, preparing his weapons. "I'm almost there," I muttered, more to myself than to anyone else. Suddenly, a loud bang echoed through the submerged tunnels, followed by the sound of hurried footsteps and weapons being cocked. The Guardians were here. Ingrid positioned herself next to Eric, gripping tightly the ancient spear we had found earlier, ready for battle. "You won't get through here," Eric challenged, his voice resonating with determination. The Guardians advanced, led by Gunnar, Eric's former colleague. The battle began immediately. Energy blasts and projectiles sliced through the water, illuminating the chamber in intermittent flashes. I could hear the muffled shouts and the crackling of weapons, but I was completely focused on the artifact in front of me. "Lars, we're being overwhelmed," Ingrid shouted as she fought bravely alongside Eric. "We need you now." "I just need one more second," I replied, finally deciphering the last symbol. The artifact opened, revealing an ancient map indicating a complex of submerged cities, even larger than we had ever imagined. "I can't believe you're not following us yet. Please like the video, follow us, and click the bell. Help us grow the channel." At that moment, a cry of pain cut through the air. I turned just in time to see Eric fall to the ground, gravely wounded, but still clutching his weapon. Gunnar was over him, ready to deliver the final blow. "No, Gunnar!" I shouted, launching myself at him. The struggle was intense, but I managed to disarm him and neutralize him with a precise strike. He fell unconscious, and I turned to help Eric. "Eric, are you okay?" I asked, my voice heavy with concern. "I'll survive," he replied, with a weak smile despite the visible pain. "But we need to get out of here fast." Ingrid, who had managed to keep the other Guardians at bay, ran to us. "We need to go now. They'll bring reinforcements." I grabbed the map and helped Eric to his feet. We were ready to leave when a sudden explosion rocked the chamber. Part of the ceiling collapsed, blocking the entrance and forcing us to find a new way out. "Quick, this way!" Ingrid shouted, pointing to a side tunnel that led out of the chamber. Racing against time, we managed to escape the chamber as it collapsed. Water began to flood in rapidly, and we had to swim with all our strength to reach the safety of our ship. As we emerged to the surface, exhausted but determined, we knew our mission was far from over. The map I had found not only confirmed the existence of Atlantis, but also revealed that there was much more to be discovered. "Lars, what do we do now?" Ingrid asked, still catching her breath. "We follow the map," I replied, holding the ancient scroll firmly. "Atlantis is just the beginning. There's an entire complex of submerged cities waiting for us." And so, with Eric injured but determined, Ingrid by my side, and the weight of the discovery on my shoulders, we were ready to face the next chapter of our journey. The truth about Atlantis and the secrets it held were still to be uncovered, and we were more determined than ever to unravel them. The water around us felt colder and heavier as we descended toward the colossal submerged structure. I, Dr. Lars Agnes, led the expedition with Ingrid Halvorsen and Eric Stensrud by my side. Our underwater flashlights slowly revealed the grandeur of the place. The structure before us was immense, far beyond what we had imagined. Every detail of the carved walls indicated the mastery of a lost civilization. "We're close. I can feel it," I murmured through the communicator, my voice reverberating inside the sealed chamber of the diving helmet. Ingrid seemed equally fascinated, her eyes gleaming behind the mask. "This is incredible, Lars. If we're right, we're about to make the greatest archaeological discovery of all time." Eric, always the pragmatist, remained on high alert. "Stay sharp. We can't relax now. The Guardians could show up at any moment." We advanced until we found a large stone door with Atlantean inscriptions. Ingrid approached, her fingers gliding over the ancient symbols. "These inscriptions, they speak of a heart of Poseidon. We need to get inside," she said. With a combined push, we managed to open the heavy door, revealing an ancient control room that seemed to have withstood time. center, a crystal panel began to glow, activating holograms that displayed the advanced technology of the Atlanteans. "This is incredible," I said, at a loss for words to describe what I was feeling. Ingrid moved closer to one of the holograms, which showed a city in all its glory. "Lars, look at this." The city was intentionally submerged to protect something. "Protect what?" Eric asked, his curiosity now competing with the need to maintain security. "The heart of Poseidon," Ingrid replied, her voice filled with reverence. "It controls the tides and oceans. It's an artifact of immense power." Before we could process the magnitude of the discovery, we heard a noise. The Guardians had followed us and were now invading the structure. We prepared for the confrontation, but suddenly, the crystal panel emitted a bright light. The Atlantean defense system had been activated, neutralizing the invaders with a series of controlled electric discharges. "That was close," Eric said, breathing a sigh of relief. It was then that I felt an inner urgency, something I could no longer ignore. I knew it was time. "Ingrid, Eric, I need to tell you something." They both turned to me, curious and concerned. "What is it, Lars?" Ingrid asked. I took a deep breath, feeling the weight of the truth I was about to reveal. "I am a descendant of the Atlanteans. My true mission was never to reveal Atlantis to the world, but to protect it. The heart of Poseidon cannot fall into the wrong hands." Eric and Ingrid were in shock. "You knew this the whole time?" Eric asked, incredulous. "Yes, and now I know what I need to do," I replied with resolve. "I'm going to seal the city again. Atlantis must remain hidden." Ingrid tried to argue, "But Lars, this is a discovery that could change the world." "I know, Ingrid, but it's a risk we can't take. The power of the heart of Poseidon is too great for humanity," I said, the decision clear in my mind. With one last look at my friends, I activated the mechanism to seal the city. The doors began to close, and the structure started to retreat once more into the depths of the ocean. "Go now," I ordered. "Time is running out." Ingrid and Eric hesitated, but they knew I was right. They swam out of the structure while I remained behind, watching the entrance close slowly. The feeling of duty fulfilled mixed with the sadness of leaving behind those I had come to consider friends. The city of Atlantis, with all its secrets and wonders, would remain hidden, protected from any external threat. Deep down, I knew I was doing the right thing, ensuring that the Atlanteans' legacy would not be corrupted. As darkness enveloped me, an unexpected peace settled over me. I had found my purpose, and with it, a new reason to carry on. And so, with a final silent farewell to my friends, we sealed the fate of Atlantis, ensuring that its secret would remain safe forever. Leave a comment telling us what you liked and what you didn't like, so we can improve our stories. And also, leave a comment with a suggestion for a new story theme. And please like the video, follow us, and click the bell. Thank you very much, and see you in the next video.